I love grass. I do. It's a fascinating thing. And when you get a nice big sheet of it, perfect, green, lush, vibrant, alive, makes me feel alive. I've not put as much time and effort into my own grass as of late, and I'll be honest, I've got conflicting feelings about it, Scott. A, it is a lot of work. It does require some money. And the payoff, I don't know if it still tickles me the same way, but I'm going to get back into it next year. And when it comes to football, if possible, it should be played on natural grass. The problem is, well, to maintain a pro football field that is a performance playing surface, there's a lot that goes into it. And we know here in Washington, by the way, this is the first year we've had a really good field in a long time at FedEx Field. So whatever they're doing, it's good. I'm happy for that. No name, but the field is good. So that's good. Bunch of other cities, though, they've got that field turf stuff, which is better than the old AstroTurf, but it's not real grass. So the question was asked on this show, just out of rhetoricalness, could they put real grass into every stadium, including every dome, including the northern climate cities, and have it be usable all year long? And I'm going to get that answer from our next guest. He is Jimmy Simpson, the president of the Sports Turf Managers Association. He joins us on the Window Nation guest hotline. Good afternoon, Jimmy. How are you, my friend?
Good afternoon, Steve. How are you? And glad to hear that you're a natural grass man.
Oh, absolutely. So you're telling me if there's a will, there's a way, that if every NFL team wanted to have natural grass, they could do it.
Yes, sir. I firmly believe that that is the case. I've seen it happen in many situations with international soccer here in the U.S. on artificial surfaces. So,
all right. So I'm looking at Green Bay as the northernmost outdoor field, and I've read articles, I've seen videos showing what they have to do to keep that thing looking half decent. And, I mean, it is a lot of work. That's a girl, Jimmy, that needs a lot of makeup and a lot of prep time. The field has some synthetic fibers in it. It's got heating pipes underneath it. They use grow lights as the season wears on. Is that what is required to grow at least outdoor real grass in northern climates in the NFL?
I think Green Bay is a great example, and Alan Johnson is a member of ours and past president of our association. He's a great example of what can be done with the will, there's a way. Alan and his constituents there in Green Bay have a will, and they've obviously been able to make it work for many years over and done it at a very high level. I do think go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that, you don't necessarily, depending on what the situation is, dictates what your abilities and what methods and means you can use to maintain a natural grass surface in any climate, whether it be indoors, under the runway, as I heard you talk about earlier. Anything can be done, and I think natural grass is a great way to go if that's the way that the teams choose. But as far as sports turf managers go, we're going to maintain whatever's there to the safest possible standard, because safety is a paramount to anybody that is around the games that are being played.
Do you guys believe natural grass is, in general, safer for football than synthetic?
We believe in the science that's following this along. And if you look at the American Journal of Sports Medicine 2019 study, I believe the NFLPA statement that came out from their president, Mr. Treader, he referenced that quite a few times in there. And it looks at many, many different plays over many years. And it says from its scientists that roughly 319 fewer lower bodily injuries would be expected if played on natural grass. So from that standpoint, we would support his statement.
All right, so for the indoor stadiums in warmer climates, Vegas and Phoenix, they got these fancy field trays that they can roll out, let it grow in the nice, beautiful sunshine, roll it back in for games. Okay, great. What would you do for a place like L.A. where they can't roll that field out because it's sunk down so low?
Well, the beautiful thing about that is we could still roll the field in and roll the field out. We would just be rolling it in different ways. We would be bringing in the sod, and I'm sure you've seen it many times on games, being a grass man that you are. in the NFL now, when it gets worn down the middle with the hash marks so close and with these professional athletes being so strong and amazing at what they do, they tend to wear that middle down. And you see it in many places where they'll come in and resod those hash mark areas down the middle. Well, you can take that same concept and expand that out beyond the hash marks and essentially have a natural grass field in under a day in these domes.
I'm guessing there must be some huge ramp that they have at SoFi to get heavy equipment down to that level, and I guess that's where you would bring in the squares or the octagons of turf. They'd have to be big old things you connect together like pieces, and then you kind of cover up the seams, right?
No, not necessarily. We in the technology over the last 20 years in natural grass has gone tremendously and moved tremendously forward, and we can actually take sod now that is grown on plastic. And it's about 2 to 2.5 inches thick, and they bring it in. You can butt those seams right together. You can't even stick your finger through the seam. It's hard to even get a safety pin through there sometimes. So you can butt those seams right together. They're 40 feet long and 3.5, 4 feet wide. And we can roll that sod right out onto any surface, whether it's a parking lot, a synthetic surface. It doesn't make a difference. You can roll it out, play on it 2 days later.
So that's so that would be just that, like doing somebody's new house yard type of sod laying, where it wouldn't be permanent trays that require forklifts. It would just be, and they're rolls of how big?
Roughly 40 feet long and about 3.5, 4 feet wide. And it's an amazing process that there's many sod growers across the country right now that are growing this grass for NFL teams already. And it's obviously
it's a plastic base, but it's real dirt, real worms, real grass, and you can lay them down in strips. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And the plastic base is nothing but a sheet of plastic laid on the ground so that the roots grow back within the natural soils. So it's 100% natural product. It's just grown on a plastic base that allows you to go out and harvest that cleanly and bring it and put it into whatever facility that you would desire to put it in.
Sounds like it's expensive.
You know, there's a cost to everything. There's a cost to these synthetic surfaces that are in all these venues. Many of these venues change their surfaces out every year, every other year. And when you're looking at player safety, can you really put a price tag on what an ACL cost or what somebody's career-ending injury would be? I hate for any injury to happen, right? None of us want that. We all want safe playing surfaces, and that's from the owners to the players and the fans. Everybody wants a safe surface. We don't want to see one single injury. You know, when you have a game where there's no injuries, then that's a fantastic opportunity and a fantastic game.
Jimmy Simpson of the STMA, the Sports Turf Managers Association, joins us here on a Thursday on the Zabe Show, Team 980's Window Nation guest hotline. Jimmy, I'm not asking you to throw any friends under the bus, but is there an NFL or even a college stadium where you look back on a Saturday or a Sunday and you just wonder, how did it get like this?
No, not at all. I think there's many opportunities out there and many scenarios, and you don't know what goes into each individual decision at every individual stadium. I think that the sports turf managers across the country do the very best they can with the information they're given, to the time they're given, and the resources they're given. And I think it's hard to look at any situation on the surface and say, make a judgment or a decision like that to say something about that, because you don't know what situation the people are in, and everybody's doing the absolute best they can to provide a safe surface for teams to play on, whether it's synthetic or natural grass.
Did you have an opinion on what happened in the early season with the Giants and the Niners up at MetLife? And now, a couple weeks later, nothing's happened since.
You know, I really didn't have an opinion on that. It was a new surface, is my understanding, but I really did not know, and I still do not know all the details about that surface. I know the NFL came in and tested it through their policies and their procedures, and deemed it a safe surface, and that's about the extent of my knowledge on that one. So we would have to go inside with what their current policies state.
All right, I know there's not one answer to this, but I'll give you two answers. Give me a warm climate and a cool climate. Best football grass out there right now. Give me the name. Let's get nerdy here, all right, Jimmy? Let's go talk some grass. I want the best southern grass. I want the best northern grass. Go.
Green Bay would be my best northern. Love what Allen does there. I believe Miami does it really well. And they use a lot of the sod that we're speaking about that can be used on synthetic surfaces. If you look at how they change out the logo from Saturday to Sunday between the Hurricanes and the Dolphins, it's amazing the work they do down there. And all that's done off-site, a lot of it, and brought in. And then they do a fantastic job getting that field ready every single weekend for many events. So that would be that's about as most extreme north and south as you can get. But that would be my two right now that are in the NFL that stand out.
Okay, that's good to know. And Miami is amazing. They don't just paint over that logo and have two logos being on the field. Looks all garbagey. But I'm looking for a brand name of grass. So give me the species or the brand name, the trade name of the best northern grass in general and the best southern grass. That's what I was looking for.
Well, your best northern grasses are going to be your bluegrasses, and your best southern grasses are going to be your Bermudas.
I want a trade name. Come on, give me the specs, the nerd name. Let's go.
Yeah,
northern.
I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on that.
What?
So many. There's so many out there.
That's an outrage. That's an outrage. You are a captive of Big Grass Incorporated. How dare you? I know you want to try to keep all of your grass suppliers in good stead, but you need to declare one the best.
Well, of course, my friends at True Green, who did my lawn. I love my friends.
That's a grass servicing company. I wanted to hear Latitude 386 or something like that as the best grass. All right, you're going to keep all your bridges clean.
Yeah, there are many great Bermuda grasses out there.
All right, Jimmy. Good to talk to you, brother. We appreciate the time.
All right, thank you. And if you guys ever have any more questions on grass, I'll be glad to answer the best I can.
There you go. Jimmy Simpson, president of the Sports Turf Managers Association, talking grass and stadiums. How about that? They have them on 40-foot rolls, 3 feet wide, and that must weigh a ton. You know, one piece of sod is really heavy when you get all the dirt in there and everything. A 40-foot roll, I got to bring that in by a forklift, and then they put it all down. That's labor-intensive. That's a crew of like 100 dudes on their knees, hands and knees, just getting it all together and hosing it down and stamping it down and everything like that.